Good evening. Welcome to the Pastors Roundtable. We're just over here having fun with our producer, Oscar, back there in the finished sound booth. Doesn't the sound booth look amazing?
It does.
It looks like it's got like some sort of wainscoting on it. And so for those of you that have been unable to come to the church and visit, when you do, it's going to look totally different back there. I remember years back when we just had the little bitty sound booth that we had then, and now this is a beautiful work of art.
Well, actually, it's missing one piece of final
Oh, is it?
countertop across the top, isn't it? Or is it on there?
Oh, on
nope,
the
it's
wall
right
or
here.
what?
Those go across the top
Oh, so
to completely
so you
finish.
can't come yet because it's not completely finished, right?
But the paint is done, and it looks really nice.
Paint is done. It looks great, and so you got to come up here and check it
Looks
out.
like a garage door.
Looks like a really good garage door.
Two-car garage.
And it's funny because on the other side of it, there's actually a little trap
Now you
door
just
that they
gave
can
away
open it up.
the secret hiding spot.
But they don't know where on that side. So anyways, welcome to the Pastors Roundtable. Pastor Ken is here. He's just prepping, getting ready for service tonight. Like we said on Facebook and on GroupMe that this is going to be a scaled down service this evening with only Pastor Ken's teaching and then the prayer time as well. Sunday coming up, Sunday evening, we're back to normal. And so we'll have growth groups, which means the Awana Grand Prix has been rescheduled. It's been pushed back to November 15th. And we've already talked to the Awana leaders and growth group leaders are tracking that as well. So Awana 15th, there you go. November 15th is when the Grand Prix is going to happen. So this Sunday evening, normal classes, nurseries, everything else. Also this Sunday, we're having International Day of Prayer for the Persecuted Church. So it happens every year in the first Sunday in November where churches just globally come together corporately and pray for the persecuted church. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about a ministry called Open Doors USA, which is a ministry that is out there reaching these persecuted believers around the world. And we're going to look at the top 50 the nations that are most persecuted towards the Christian faith. And we're going to look at some statistics on how many Christians are actually dying every month just for the faith that they hold. And we'll also talk about different ways you can support, whether donate financially, prayerfully, advocate, things like that. So be sure to check in on Sunday morning. Also, with that being the case, Operation Christmas Child, the only other announcement that I personally have is we're going to have Collection Sunday on November 15th as well. And so if you have those shoe boxes, please go ahead and bring them up to the church. What we'd like to do is stack them all up on the platform so we can have a great visual about the love of God that He's just giving through us to just give financially to people we don't know, to give a gospel to people that need to hear it in countries that we otherwise could not reach. And so if you've been able to go ahead and build a shoebox, we just ask that you just drop it off again. The church is going to provide all the shipping costs, but if you would like to be able to contribute towards that, by all means, just make that donation, just mark it Operation Christmas Child OCC. So that's that. So what do you guys have going on?
So Saturday night at 5:30 to 9:30, we have the fall party.
Okay.
As
Yep.
Pastor Ken coined it, the Holy Ween party.
Holy Ween. Interesting.
And so we're gonna play games, have food, carve pumpkins. We'll have a pumpkin carving contest to see who
Interesting.
can make not necessarily the most intricate, but the best that people in the group on Facebook like.
So who are the judges?
The
People on Facebook?
the church members
Okay,
that
so-
aren't teenagers.
So they'll go onto Facebook, you guys will post them, or, yeah?
We'll post them in the Odd Baptist family,
Mm-hmm.
and then you guys can vote. Typically, each teenager at least gets one vote unless their parents are just
Oh.
like savage people and just don't even vote for their own kid's
Yeah.
pumpkin. We'll also have a prize for the person that brings the most friends.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that doesn't count like
What?
Lauren bringing Cassie, because they're both already a part of the youth group, so that doesn't count. Has to be people that at least are not like a regular person for the youth group, and so that'll be fun. We also have some candy bags that we're going to pass out, so
Okay.
they can answer our door for us, I guess.
So
Take
where
the
is
work out of it
Holy
for us.
Ween going to be? At your house?
At our house.
Okay, so just parents drop them off at your house and pick them up at the end?
Yep.
Okay.
And so if you need that, we can get that out in the Facebook group and group me.
Okay.
I won't share it here. Don't
No.
need just random people.
Addresses and stuff like
I'm a
that.
teenager, and they're 35 years old.
You say that because on Facebook, I thought it was a great idea on Facebook to create events on things that Open Door we're doing here. And so we created an event normally I say we when it's a positive or me when it was a negative, but I created an event for tract and treat service that we had last week. And really it was just about the church here going ahead and packing these bags to pass out to the trick-or-treaters with the gospel tract inside. We weren't doing trunk or treat or anything, but apparently I created this event, and apparently it went public, and we had a family actually stop by thinking we were doing trunk or treat. And so Jen was great on her toes, as always, and gave out a bunch of candy to the individuals, and then was able to just share some great information, invite them to church, things like that. So my mistake, Jen cleaned up pretty well.
Well, but is it a mistake or was it a divine appointment?
I guess time will tell. Time will tell.
Well, even if they never come, they've been given a gospel tract.
That is true. Yep.
And so they've received the truth.
They did receive the
And
truth.
so I would say that it wasn't a mistake. Take it off you a little bit.
I'll take that, okay? So Safe Harbor, so we had the donations here for the fire victims, and so now my phone has been blowing up in there, and I get a lot of voicemail messages, but so what's going on with the donations now?
So we raised enough to house the people. We kept them in their motel or hotel until Monday night, and then other people have stepped up since then.
Wonderful.
So if you wanted to give towards that, you can go up to Baymont Hotel and just tell them, I want to get a room for these people. But we had so many clothes given that after we had the sale that all the money then went to, which we raised about $1,400.
Wow.
But at $700 a night, because of 10 rooms at $70, it goes quick.
Right.
But it was still amazing that we
Yes,
raised
it
that much
was.
money.
Amen.
But the more amazing part was how many extra clothes we had. Because you helped unload the truck.
Yes.
Mike Jones brought a Frito-Lay truck, and it was I'd say it was probably a third full. It wasn't too full.
I seen that truck in the parking lot. I was like, what are we doing with Frito-Lays here? Do we have stock or something? But then I realized.
And so we, yesterday morning at 9 a.m., we met at America's Thrift Store, who I guess all their proceeds go to Hannah's house for abused women. Mm-hmm. And we unloaded at least 2,000 pounds worth of clothing. So a ton's worth of clothing.
And clothes can get heavy.
Oh yeah, because they have these carts, and they weigh the carts to 1,000 pounds. Mm-hmm. So that way they can wheel them around easily. Mm-hmm. And we had filled up one, plus there was still that mountain of clothes bags that we had unloaded.
Wow.
And so it's just amazing how many clothes, all the food, housing, like home goods, furniture, we took all that to Safe Harbor. And I did do a little research on Safe Harbor because I know that we don't line up completely on beliefs, but I did check, and on their website they talk about the free gift of salvation.
Okay.
And so they're at least going to offer the gospel to them, even if we wouldn't agree on some other things. At least they're sharing the gospel, and that was important to me because I didn't want to send people to somewhere where they weren't. So I did check that before we even took it, just because I wanted to be sure that if we're sending people and say it was at the Catholic parish here in town, they probably aren't hearing a clear gospel.
Right.
Most likely not.
Yeah, no,
And so maybe unless some of their members are giving it out and they just don't realize.
Right, but you're looking at catechism, their doctrines of purgatory, absolution, things like that. No, there's definite wisdom in what you were doing as far as trying to get some information to make sure at least they don't come here, they go there, they get some sort of gospel presentation information. So we don't necessarily agree everything, peripheral issues, but the core of the doctrine is essential, and so it's wonderful.
Yeah. And so the point of it, Erica's heart and the whole church's heart, I think everybody already knows this, but it wasn't so that we could get our name out there, get people here, which, I mean, the Lord got our name out there,
yes,
20,000 views. And so that's amazing, but that's what I was telling some other churches. They called and they said, we want to work with you so that we're not sending people all over to the wrong places. And I said, well, we're not trying to make a monopoly on this.
Right.
And so that was Safe Harbor that I had talked to, and he's just like, well, we appreciate that because, I mean, those people, they already lost their homes, they lost all their earthly possessions. They don't need churches and organizations fighting and messing up things behind the scenes for them.
Right.
So it was nice to get to talk to him. I think he was the pastor, and so
Awesome.
and get to work with them. I didn't get to meet them, but I have some other stuff that I have to take to them, so
Yes, you do.
I'll get to meet him personally.
So if you know anybody that wants to give more towards the Prattville fire victims, please go ahead and refer them to Safe Harbor Outreach, which is on Selma Highway here in Prattville. If you need the phone number, you can let me know. I have it in the office. I know you have it, Erica has it. Or you just Google it. You know,
Or just
either
go
way.
to Country's Barbecue, and it's behind there.
There we go. Country's Barbecue behind there.
Behind Country's Barbecue is what I was told. I don't know where Country's Barbecue is.
I know
but-
where Country's Barbecue is. So, but that's pretty much for this evening. Like I said, we're going to sign off. We're going to do prayer time, and then after that, we'll go back live for Pastor Ken's message. I'm assuming Life of Messiah, but I don't want to assume a side. But if history repeats itself, Life of Messiah Part 10 this evening. So, thanks for checking out. Until next time, God bless.